And I'm back in the video today. Today we're going to be talking about CoD champs and my predictions, as you can see from the title of the video, as well as some of the things I expect and some of the things I wouldn't really expect, but could happen when it comes to Call of Duty World Champs. So you guys know CoD champs is the biggest tournament. I believe it's like $3 million on the line for everybody, so it's not so Fortnite World Cup-ish, but it is very, very close to it. $3 million in total amongst all the teams, not just one person winning $3 million. So it's kind of a big deal. As you can see, it's taking place August 14th through 18th, so 2 or 3 days of playing through the pools and then bracket play. Once bracket play is actually solidified, I'll probably make another video that same weekend talking about who I expect to probably win champs, and you know, maybe I'll even do that a little bit earlier because champs is really coming up kind of soon. So we'll have to see what happens there. Let's go over the pools. As you can see, there are 8 pools here, A through H, and we're gonna go through each one of them, talking about you know, what I expect to happen from these. So starting with Pool A, we have United, Elevate, The Boys, and Fire Stick Gaming. United coming off the Pro League Finals championship win. They did win that quite convincingly against Gen G in the second best of 5, but you know, they 3-0'd pretty much everybody else that didn't 3-0 them. So it was really dominant performance, and they have a lot riding on their, you know, past championship performance, and I believe that they are the favorites to win this. I think Gen G and United are the favorites to win this. Maybe even FaZe. Maybe Luminosity, but we'll have to see when it comes to that. Starting off with Pool A, like we have Elevate, The Boys, and Fire Stick Gaming. The Boys did win the last Pro League Championship for the amateur bracket, so they have a lot riding on them. And Elevate haven't been playing that well, to be completely honest. So the 2 teams that I see coming out of this pool are actually United and The Boys. Elevate, they haven't been really playing that well, and I don't think they even won a map the last tournament, so I don't know about them. But I don't see them really doing too hot when it comes to the CoD champs. So I think the Boys actually have a really good chance in breaching that second place finish. When it comes to Pool B, we have Gen G, Enigma 6, Team War, and Fuego Gaming. Team War came in second to the Boys at the last Pro League Amateur Championship, and you know, they played relatively well. They did lose in the second best of 5. That's usually what's happened in all the amateur tournaments, where they just, you know, they lose 2 best of 5s from the loser bracket team. So it's unfortunate, but that's just what happens to them, and that's what just happens to pretty much every team when it comes to the, you know, the lower bracket. So I don't really see Gen G losing to anybody in this pool, but I do see Enigma 6 maybe dropping to the 3rd seat to Team War. Team War has been popping off. They have a really fire roster, to be completely honest, and I don't know if Enigma 6 can really you know, stand up to Gen G and Team War, but they're gonna really have to at least stand up to Team War to stay in that 2nd seed. So that's pretty much a 50-50 in who comes out to the 2nd seed. Remember, the top 2 of each of these pools go into the championship bracket, and like I said, I'll make another video on these. Moving on to Pool C, we have FaZe Clan, The Units, Mazer Gaming, and Team Divinely. I don't really see anything happening other than FaZe Clan and Units pretty much destroying Mazer and Team Divinity. Mazer has been playing relatively well. They got pretty much destroyed in every other amateur tournament finals. Although they did make the finals, they didn't really play all that well when it came to that, you know, clutch up factor. So I think the Units, now that they're kind of like, you know, free from their red reserve contracts and, you know, pretty much grinding and playing as a team, I think they have probably a better chance of beating FaZe than pretty much any other team on this roster. But I don't see FaZe losing to anybody in this pool. So that's pretty much a relatively easy pool, just from my knowledge at the moment. Pool D, we have Reciprocity, Team Envy, Sage Esports, and Legend Status GG. So this pool is very interesting because Envy is trash. They haven't played well at all. But if there's a tournament where X turns up, it's probably champs. So I don't really see Team Reciprocity actually coming out first in this one. I actually see Team Envy destroying the first 2, getting some hype, and then beating Team Reciprocity in that last best of 5 and actually securing them the top spot. I don't know about Team Reciprocity. They've been putting a lot of work. Dylan is looking insane. It's going to take a Game 5, Round 11 S&D for Team Reciprocity to take over Envy. I'm sure that they're not going to have any problems against Sage or Legend Status, but Envy might put up a threat. I don't know. They might just go winless and again another tournament, and that's like the shittiest, you know, record ever for any team. So I don't know, man. It just kind of depends on what happens on that weekend. We'll have to see. Pool E, we have Luminosity, UIU, Team Singularity, and Excalibur. Luminosity obviously winning the last championship for and not the last championship, but Fort Worth, the one I attended. They looked pretty well, and with the new roster changes, they have Skies and Brack, along with the the core three there, Slacked, Formal, and I don't remember the last guy, sorry. But they looked relatively well. They were running it up at the last tournament. Obviously, their run was cut short by Gen G, but I did think that they played relatively well. And I think if this is the tournament that they go far in again, I think it's that one. Obviously, I see them coming at the top of the pool. UIU, Team Singularity, and Excalibur. It's actually a really big toss-up. All three of those teams have been playing pretty much about the same. Even though UIU is a top 16 team, they're in the league, they're playing kind of shit. But I feel like after what we saw at the last tournament, UIU actually put in a lot of work, and they're looking a lot better. So I don't really see Team Singularity or Excalibur beating them. Luminosity, I do expect to beat them, and UIU, obviously, I don't know if I expect Luminosity to lose to UIU, but I feel like it could happen. UIU's been looking nice. Methods is fucking insane. We'll have to see what happens. When it comes to Pool F, we have 100 Thieves, Midnight Esports, Sicario Gaming, and Fury Gaming. Now, this one, to me, is the pool of death. All four of those teams have been playing insane. I feel like 100 T is 100% getting out of that pool top, number one. But I do see Midnight actually leaving at the last spot, or actually maybe the third spot. I think Sicario is actually going to beat Midnight and pretty much every other team. Actually, maybe not 100 Thieves. Now that I realize that, I probably think it's 100 Thieves, Sicario, Fury, and then Midnight. I don't see Midnight really doing that well. They'd have to put in a shit ton of work to match up against these teams, because Sicario and Fury, they've been playing relatively well, although they haven't really had that much success. The rosters on those teams have been insane. There's like Chino and all these people. It's fucking crazy. So it's actually a really stacked pool. Pool of F is definitely the pool of death. So I don't. Maybe they take one off of 100T. I don't know, man. I honestly don't know how to call that one. The only one I can really see is Sicario and 100T. That's what I think is coming out of Pool F. I don't really see Midnight doing too hot against Sicario, especially with Chino and all of them. But yeah, that's pretty much it. The last two pools, we have Pool G with Optic Gaming, EG, Carnage Gaming, and Train Hard. I really don't see this changing much. I do think EG is a very good team. Optic is obviously a very good team. I don't think they're going to have much of a problem with Carnage or Train Hard. And I don't see EG really setting up to Optic that well. Maybe they do take the series off of Optic Game 5, Round 11, and secure them the top spot. We don't know yet, but I don't really see Carnage Gaming and Train Hard getting out of there, unfortunately. Pool H, our last pool, we have Splice, Team Heretics, Aspire, and Hybrid. Now, Splice hasn't been playing well at all, and Heretics has been playing relatively well. When it comes to the last tournament, they played really well. So I do think Heretics is going to come out on top above Splice, and Splice might actually very much struggle for the number 2 team. Splice has been a very broken roster, and unless something changes relatively soon, I don't think that they're going to be able to beat Aspire or Hybrid. Aspire and Hybrid are probably the worst teams in the open bracket that are on this pool, but Spice has been playing very poorly. So they either turn it up, Donnie Temp has to do some shit that's fucking crazy to take that top spot against Heretics, but I don't really see anybody really beating Heretics, to be completely honest. And I just have Team Heretics and maybe Aspire or Splice taking second. That's very much a 50-50 toss-up on what I think might happen in that tournament. Later on, we'll have a bracket once we know who made it out on that same day. That same Thursday, we'll know who's in the championship bracket, and I will go over all of those matches. And who will win CoD Champs, in my opinion, we'll have to see. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch you guys next one. Peace.